Let's take it back to the story now. The devastating floods in the Eastern Cape. As we speak, 2 more bodies being retrieved just today. That of a toddler being pulled out just moments ago. Let's speak to the Minister of Human Settlements now, Thembi Simelane, for some more insight. Minister, good to have you, and thank you very much for your time. Listening to the spokesperson of the Eastern Cape government, we are currently, of course, that's a number that is just an estimate right now as more discoveries are being made as to people who've been displaced. But at least 2,250 people, I'm not quite sure how many households would that represent. What is your capacity?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to our viewers. It's a very sad day for the province of the Eastern Cape, indeed. We appreciate the interministerial team that the President has put, of which the Department of Human Settlement is strongly active in. Currently, we are able to account for overall damage in the Eastern Cape of about 1,676 households. And they're divided in 2. You'll recall just the spokesperson now says they are totally damaged houses and partially damaged. We have got a total of damaged houses so far. Yes, we are still particularly in Amatole and the OR Tambo district, continuing with our assessment. But they look like the hardest hit now. OR Tambo, particularly the Mthatha area, with 1,039. As we will be concluding the day today with the 637 partially damaged houses, where we will still utilize NHBRC to assess as to whether those houses can really be repaired for to be utilized habitable again. Also assessing as to whether are those people still allowed to stay in areas where in some instances there were even early warnings and requests for relocation. So we've got a total team which includes the province. In Amatole, we've got around 271 which have been totally damaged, with about 33 which are partial, but still teams are on site, continuing with the assessment. And Alfred Zoo also has got a high number that with regard to the fully damaged, around 175 houses to date have been confirmed to be fully destroyed. So we are busy with our emergency response team. As you are aware, some of the families where immediate family members can be of assistance, we are utilizing mostly community halls and churches. We've moved some into a temporary emergency accommodation with an intention of building, starting in the main with families that are bereaved. We are hoping that we'll be able to start to put structures tomorrow temporarily in the yards where they currently are, and they would want to undergo and start with the preparations for the burials. Yeah. The report we received as part of the interministerial team, including the Department of Health and the police, it does indicate around 83 families have already viewed and identified their bodies. So we're moving with social development to assist from our side on the from their side on the humanitarian side. On our side, we need to make sure that they are able to bury, at least having a structure or a shelter on their head, and then we will look into assessment of relocation and rebuilding houses where they should be better allocated.
So you're saying at this stage, alongside province, there is no land or space that has been identified for that relocation and rebuilding?
Well, because there are about 5 municipalities involved, 3 of them have already identified land. But remember, identification doesn't end there. There must be EIA, environmental assessment tests, which also need to be performed. We are working, as I said, from our side with regard to the regulator. We have South African Weather Services also online in terms of their early warning systems and the direction of the risk mitigation measures. We need to be certain in the Eastern Cape, in KwaZulu-Natal, in the Western Cape, where we relocate people to, that they don't get to be affected again by the same type of incidents that would have happened. So yes, parcels have been identified. Rigorously, the Department of Environment is also leading with regard to the assessment of those areas for the impact assessment, so that we could be able to build and place people where there's less, of course, human potential with its own shortcomings. But we need to undertake and ensure that we are able to a large extent, confirm that the possibility of a wetland in the space, a dolomite or any other thing is not there, so that we relocate in a successful manner.
Completely damaged, of course, there is no chance of recurring or further damage happening to that, because it's already completely damaged. But let's talk about, for example, the 639 partially damaged in OR Tambo. Have assessments been done there? Is there not going to be an after effect, maybe where more damage could happen to those properties as people are beginning to try and rebuild if they choose to do so?
As I said, our National House Building Regulator, NHBRC, is on site assessing. It's actually not only OR Tambo, the 637, it's everywhere. In OR Tambo, it's 555 of partially damaged. The other difference from that 67 is 33, which comes from Amatole, and 49, which comes from Alfred Nzo, making an overall provincial total so far of partial damaged houses at 637. But as we indicate, assessments are still going on. Some, as we know, are houses which are partially damaged but are on the river bends. Some families really by stroke of luck, the houses might have been partially damaged, washed away, didn't lose lives, but it will be irresponsible for government to rebuild in those areas. We will be targeting to relocate them. And our engagement have already started, led by the province. And we're seeing quite a number of cooperation now in instances where the families themselves are also willing to be part of government teams to see how best could we jointly resolve the problem and relocate them successfully.
I wanted to segue into that while you're raising that,
the
Minister.
Province had undertaken such, but was not successful. Come again?
I'm saying, while on that topic, I wanted to ask that very same question, that other families who are saying we are willing to rebuild our own partially damaged homes, and what's the cooperation and how is that coordinated?
There is good cooperation. Government policy, yes, allows you to, for as long as you have assessed and assist in a way that can indicate that the house can still be rebuilt and can be for proper utilization, we will allow that. But we wouldn't allow and encourage rebuilding in wetlands and in areas where it will not be helpful futuristically. It might have not been blown away now, but it could be in any rains that could come. We have got those tests, which were performed earlier on. And that is why I'm saying the province in some past years had a difficulty also in convincing some of our family members in understanding that they are in a wetland and they shouldn't have built in those spaces in the first instance. Yeah. But we are all recovering from a huge tragedy where we are still counting on the fatalities. All of us, government, including our families with their community leaders, we are all understanding the pain and understanding the importance of everybody to be safe. As I am saying, our teams are working jointly with our communities, and we do believe that we will find one another and be able to relocate. I mean, I went to KZN, Umlazi, the riverbank, which damaged close to 68 or 70 houses. The city of Tegwini had been there 3-4 times in that ward, encouraging people to stop building, don't continue with extensions, relocate, and we didn't win. It said that we could only develop an understanding jointly once a tragedy of this nature has happened. But our people's fears are also understandable. I think as government, we also need to engage in such a way that we identify the hindrances that makes our people not to move. One of it being the list and the identification of beneficiaries in how the houses are allocated. Okay. If I say to you, move now, yes, the main question is, Where are
Where
you
to?
taking me and
Yeah.
how am I going to be
Yeah.
living? And
Minister-
I think if we jointly respond to that question,
Yes.
it makes things easy. So I do not want to come out and sound as if our people don't understand, are irresponsible, don't take decision. No. I think we also had a limitation in all the instances of providing strongly alternative measures for our communities so that they are able to be relocated successfully.
Appreciate your time, Minister. Let's leave it there. That's Minister of Human Settlements Thembi Simelane on the support given to the communities of Umtata. Let's take a break. The Newsfeed PM continues shortly. Do stay with us.